In 2024, I built an epic M42, M44 Frankenstein 16 valve BMW engine, and it turned out to be amazing. It made really good power. But this year, 25, we're taking it to the next level. In the last episode, I managed to get this beast started. We found out that we had low oil pressure. Come on, boyki. I figured out what it was and had to start stripping the engine. Join us as we continue this journey. But first, I need to thank someone for supporting me and basically getting this lift for me. So a massive shout out to Sully from Basil Classics. He hooked me up and we've got this lift installed so that we can do this kind of work and all sorts of awesome new projects that are coming soon. So I'm busy with a mini restoration on this car. Now that video, we're still discussing it. I might release it, I might not, we're not sure yet, but we're busy with a cool restoration on this car. And yeah, once again, a massive shout out to Sully at Basil Classics. Thank you so much. Now we can go ahead and do some more epic projects. So we're not going to take all of the bolts out. We're going to kind of loosen them to let the front of the sump drop so that it just drops off that front cover. So from here we're going to use trusty old T-bar. Alright, so I have the sump bolts loosened off. The sump has kind of pulled away from this cover, so I just need to take the rest of the bolts off. Here's one outside 13 bolt. That'll go in its bag with the rest. There's one more bolt, 13mm on the outside. Then I have a few more on the inside, and then it can come. Oh man. Now this might be a bit of a challenge because the cylinder head is still clamping it down. It's like we got a bit of play. Can't get the persuader in anyway. There we go. Come on, you can do it. Go. Okay, and there she's off. So there she is in all her glory. Now I have been able to source from BMO in Pretoria a brand new M44 oil pump, BMW, new old stock. So that is amazing. That is a genuine BMW oil pump gears. To get the housing, it's another challenge, but we're going to forget that for now. Let's open this thing up and see where we get to. You can actually see how it moves up and down. That's because it is the wrong width, dumbass. So brand new M42 gears do not work in an M44. Let me show you why. This is because the gears are actually thinner. I'll show you a comparison side to side, but you can see the step there, and that step results in the gears having a bit of play when that cover is on. And so all that happens is the oil just seeps out and just never builds any pressure. Let's get the old ones out and the new ones in. Take these old ones out. They look fine, as they should. What we'll do is just put them away for a rainy day. And now if we measure this, we only got 0.19 bar of oil pressure in this thing. So let's measure it. 8.4 millimeters. So that's 8.4 millimeters thick. That's BMW M42 oil pump gears, 8.4 millimeters thick. Now if we take the new old stock kit, let's measure these. So let's just make sure that these actually need a bit of a clean. They've been sitting in storage for a while. So let me give these a clean. Again, we put lots of oil around here. Come on, this is the inner ring. Yes, that's looking better. Clean the outer ring using Ravenol brake clean. Now let's measure the width. So this width is exactly 10 millimeters. So the difference is 1.6 mils. So let's give it quite a lot of oil, and dots up, and there she blows. Same level, beautiful. That should give us Maningi oil pressure, means a lot. So let's put this cover back on, put some more. We're gonna go through that same process, just prime it from reverse. Just clean these bolts, put Loctite on them, install them. So just a little bit on the threads. I ordered new gloves and they came in as XL. Double XL. They don't fit. Torquing wrench, 10 Newton meters. 4. All done. She's ready to go back in. So it's another day, and I am now going to clean this silicone off here that I used, the Rhinzo seal, to seal the water jacket. And the reason I did that was because of this super thick head gasket I used. You can check that out why I used that in the last episode, or the last few episodes. But yeah, so I need to clean off this Rhinzo seal, clean up this oil, and then we can put that front cover back on. So let's lower it a bit. Just use a blade here. Now I've covered up the oil pan here, so now sealant goes into the sump. That is all done. I'm going to carefully take off this rag to remove any remains. Now I can wipe it down. So get the trusty Ravenol brake cleaner. This stuff is absolutely amazing. If you're interested, I resell it. Send me a DM. I'll get this stuff shipped to you. It is cheaper. I resell this stuff cheaper than competitive brake cleaners. And it is really, really good stuff. Send me a DM locally in South Africa. Send me a DM if you are interested in some. I'll hook you up. Alrighty, look at that. Squeaky clean. Just get some more. Oh, they're making a lovely noise next door. In the last episode, I don't know if you heard how they were panel beating away. That's because I have a panel beater next door to me. I've actually made good friends with. And he's going to be doing quite a lot of painting for me, which is great. So yeah, but they were busy with quite a bit of work in the last episode, nonetheless. Beautiful. All right, so we need to do the same with this front cover. So that means getting all this RTV off, or Rhinzo seal there. Let's give this thing a clean and get it ready for installation. So we are going to use a nice microfiber towel, and we're going to clean it all around. I'm not too worried about these surfaces here by the oil pump. The gasket can deal with oil there. It's just around here where I want to apply the RTV. Just want to give it a good clean. There's no oil residue. And the RTV sticks. Put that one side. Now, here is the gasket. What I'll do is wipe this gasket down first so there's minimal oil on it. This is a steel gasket, so give it a good clean. Alright, so now clean the gasket, get it free of oil and residue. These gaskets haven't even worked properly. They've been through heat cycles obviously, but not significantly. Just want to get this engine to a point where it's working consistently. It needs to. There we go. Show me the money! Show me the money! Show me the money! Look at that. Get you some of that. Like a glove. We'll get some new plastic and cover this bad boy up. Alright, so here are all the bits laid out. I have everything bagged and tagged. The housing is there. All the other bits are laid out. So I'm pretty much ready to start installing. I'm gonna get busy installing this stuff. I am just gonna put the camera on the side and do a bit of a B-roll so that I don't waste your time with all of the little niggly bits. So yeah, let's get going. This is a prototype degree wheel I've made, and I'm just testing it out. If I'm happy with it, I'm going to have them anodized and put them up for sale. So let's see how this goes. So I need to now make sure that this thing is at TDC. Sheesh, that was quite a lot. We'll take these to 16 Newton meters. And that's intake done. Let's do the exhaust. We're definitely going to make some changes to this degree wheel. I have the degrees going the normal way around, but they actually need to go the other way. Price you pay for development. Okay, let's put this on the exhaust cam. I think that is pretty much in the dwell. So there we go, 108. Beautiful. Let's torque it down. Right, so we turn it over. That should be TDC. Awesome. Alright, here we go, round 2. So I don't have the alternator back because I have sent that in for reconditioning. So we are going to go without alternator, without water system. I also want to replace 2 water pipes. So I'm going to get those in a couple of days. Just make sure no oil is coming out the bottom. Some plug is in, everything's in, you just never know. Pouring it all over the cams so they can get lubrication. So that is 5 liters. I'll just put a bit extra in just in case, and then we need to put the valve cover on. So we're getting there, getting close now. Fire this puppy up. That should be plenty. It's about 6 liters. Let me put the valve cover on and we'll catch you guys then. All right, moment of truth. A lot of stuff is not connected at the moment. We're just going to crank for oil pressure, and that's why you've got your sights on the oil pressure gauge. Now I'm going to crank it from inside. I'll have to just connect that, connect the battery. I'm going to crank it inside. Alrighty, so the power's off. On the other side, we need to unplug the injectors. Something else we got to do. Let's just make sure we're all safe. We don't want to be pumping fuel into the combustion chambers if we're not burning it. Alright, so what we're going to do is just crank until we see that oil pressure light go off. Let's go. Come on, you can do it. We will see it there also, 10 bar. How's oil pressure 10 bar? Huh? What? Oh, it's because it's unplugged there. Oh, no, don't tell me. We're doing this again. Man, this car and oil pressure. Right, so that didn't move. So let's try the old pumping process. We are now going to try and suck oil out through the pump and back into the sump. Let's go. We'll swap these 2 around and we'll suck it up through the dipstick, back, push it back through the pump for a while and then reverse it. Come on, pumpy pump. So that's pretty much as far as it will go. Probably because of a non-turn valve or something, which is fine. That's actually a good sign because we weren't getting that before. Come on, boyki. Yes. 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 Oh man, yes. Oil pressure, fantastic. Gonna record this on my camera as well. Gloves off. Gloves are off. It's go time. Oil pressure. Let's go see what it is. And let's start it easy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yes, we did it. Okay, well let's take this thing off and then we put the sensor back. Alright, I've got the Bosch sensor in, so I'll be able to see what the Bosch sensor is saying on the dash here. So let's see what that says. Nice and cammy. And now I am going to start this bad boy with some water in it. So I have buttoned up the cooling system and we are going to work to get this thing on the dyno. So I'm doing all the prep work and we've got oil pressure, it's all circulating. Gonna do the water cooling system. I remade the tensioner setup, so I've moved the tensioner, moved one of the old idlers, and now it's a much more simple setup. So we should be good, and now I just need to add some water and get this bad boy started and circulating water. I also want to get a couple of heat cycles through it and then make sure there's no leaks and then drain the oil. There's a couple of things we need to check. Obviously get the water flowing through the system, but I also need to check for oil leaks. There was one on that side and there's a water leak. Oh, come on! You gotta be shitting me. Oh, it's from the water pump. Remove the water pump. We have a water leak coming down from there, so it is the water pump. I did battle with it a bit, so let's go. So the O-ring pulled skew on the water pump. Fantastic. So I'm going to see if I can find another one and we'll put it back in. New O-ring in my O-ring stash. Fits just fine. Let's try again. Oh. Okay. Water pump is in, belt is on. Oh, come on. No. So it's leaking up in there, and that is because we have such a thick head gasket on there. The rubber seal in there is battling to seal. Shizer. Well guys, some sort of, all I can say is miracle happened. I had Caden, the other panel beater from next door, and we were looking at this thing, scratching our heads, and in frustration I just wanted to see how well the belt pulley ran and all that. And yeah, so I started it and ran it, and we put more and more water in just to confirm the leak, and all of a sudden the leak stopped. So what I think is, as it got hotter, the gasket must have just popped into place or something, and yeah, no more leaks. So I've run it hot and topped up the water, so yeah, no more leaks. So I'll start it again now, but it's amazing. I am gonna take that as a win. There's no more leaks, so fantastic. No leaks. Let's get it down and we'll start it. All right, so the oil is super hot. I do that because then it can all drain out. But the risk factor is enormous. So that is the run in oil, looking fine. Alright guys, today is dyno day, and as you can see it is winter here in South Africa now. So I've dressed up warmly in the unit, but we're going to go through this puppy, and I've got to finish a couple of things for the dyno today. Now unfortunately, because of logistics, I'm not going to be able to be there to film it all. So I'm going to ask the guy to just take a couple of videos with the camera, and yeah, we'll just see what the outcome is. But what I want to do is go over this car quickly and just make sure that everything is still good. Now on the face of it, there's no water lying on the ground, so that's a massive win already, and it doesn't look like there's any oil. So let's just get a light. Everything looks okay. So what I must do now is change this oil filter, reroute the lines so that we plumb in the oil cooler, and then put the Ravenol race oil in, and we're good to go. Well guys, unfortunately I had issues with the microphone as well as some heavy background noise. Basically, we're going to be using the Ravenol RSS SAE 10W60. This is a polyalpha olefin based full synthetic multigrade engine oil with USVO technology. And what that means is that this is a full racing oil. So basically it's an extremely good oil designed for extreme stresses. I've worked together with Ravenol. They are a sponsor and they're going to be helping me this year, and we will be using this race oil throughout the year. So I'm very happy. The characteristics of this oil is it has safe lubricating layer at very high operating temperatures. It has high HTHS value, extreme shear stability, very stable and excellent viscosity behavior, very low evaporation tendency, very good cold start characteristics, very good detergent and dispersant characteristics, protection against corrosion and foam formation. Really happy to be working with Ravenol once again. Thank you guys so much. If you want to see some more of this kind of content, please consider subscribing. Just click on the subscribe button, hit the bell, and you're good to go. Alright guys, so the dyno is done and it was really successful. We had quite a few small teething issues in the beginning, but Bram from Miller Performance or Miller Developments managed to sort it all out, so a massive thank you to Bram. He also took me through what he did and all of that, so really cool. We've set up protection in the ECU now. So the results of the dyno are this. So what you are looking at here are the two dyno graphs for this engine. One on the left is July 2024, and that was when the engine was in its first state of existence. The one on the right is the latest dyno, the dyno that we just did, with the high compression forged pistons, the H-beam rods, and all the other upgrades that we did. Just to note, we didn't change the camshafts. So on the left, you can see that now something to note is that this is at 1500 meters above sea level in Gauteng, in Johannesburg, South Africa, and this is on the wheels. This is also on a dyno that is quite conservative. So dyno numbers are only relative when you're doing back-to-back comparisons. So it makes no sense to try compare power numbers to other dynos, because it will never be the same. There will always be differences. However, the important thing to note is that you use the same dyno and the same tuner to compare results, and that's exactly what we've done here. So on the left, last year July, when we first dynoed the car, it made, on this dyno at sea level, 100 kilowatts on the wheels. So to put that into perspective, an E30 2.7 Alpina makes 89 kilowatts on the wheels, and that is known as the 325S E30 Shadowline 2.7 here in South Africa, and that makes 89 kilowatts on the wheels on this dyno. So a 318IS E36 would probably only make something like 65, maybe 70 kilowatts on this dyno, conservatively. So 100 kilowatts is a good improvement over stock. And then it made 100, so that was at 6,900 RPM and 151 Newton meters at 5,800 or something like that. So that translated to 152 kilowatts on the flywheel when I dynoed it in Cape Town. And just keep that number in mind, because we're going to come back to that. And now when I dynoed it with all the upgrades we did, and I'm also running a 50-50 mix and of fuel, so 50% ethanol and 50% 95 pump fuel that we get locally. And the reason for that is just the compression. The compression's up at 14.4 or something to 1. So overall, with all of the changes we made, just keep in mind we used the Wyseco Honda forged pistons, which are heavily machined to fit into this engine. It's a larger, it's 86.5 millimeter bore. It now has the diesel crank, the M47 crank. It's pretty much a 2.1 liter. It has the 14.4 compression ratio, and and we did some upgrades on the head just to improve the flow, the H-beam rods, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So we're now seeing a power number of 111.2 at 7,600, and the torque is 153 Newton meters at 6,000. So I would have liked to have overlaid the graphs, but we weren't able to do that. So so what that means is we've picked up about 11.2% overall on the power, which doesn't sound like much, but I can tell you that the car is significantly different in its behavior, and you can see also the curve is a lot more linear. We don't have that massive spike that we used to have from 4,000 to 4.5. There is still a spike there, but it's not as aggressive, and that's that torque that is working so much better. And yeah, the power just keeps climbing. So I set the cam timing on the intake cam quite aggressive,
to 110 degrees full lift, and you can see it. The car makes power much higher up, and it's okay to rev to 8,000 RPM. So I'm very happy with these results. On the right of the right, you will see a different set of results, and that's the dashed line, and that is when we pull the timing back a bit, just to be a bit conservative and not push the engine so hard, so we can kind of swap between those two maps. So if you apply the 11.2% increase to the coastal dyno on the flywheel, that works out to 180 kilowatts on the flywheel. So to put that into perspective, 180 kilowatts is 240 horsepower on the flywheel, which is, I think, is pretty impressive for what we've done here. And it's been a real mishmash and a real Frankenstein thing. And we also only running 43mm throttle bodies, and we're limited with a regrind camshaft and all of that stuff. But overall, I'm very, very happy with the results. And I must say a massive thank you to everybody who's made this happen and assisted with this, and all the effort that's gone into make this little BM a little screamer and mighty mouse. So massive thank you to everybody. So 240 horsepower on the flywheel, very happy with that. 111 kilowatts on the wheels, up 1500 above sea level, is all relative because we're all racing them. Yeah, so very happy with that. That's slightly down on a stock 330 M42B21, but we are definitely down on weight as well, so it should be fun. And what we are doing now is we're pretty much getting ready for a first test on the car. So that's how we're going to wrap this episode up. I've got a new guy working with me. His name is Given. He's over there, and he's just running through a few things. We made a massive list of things to do, and we pretty much got all of that stuff done. So I've built in some ducting for the fan. We're just putting on the front floor piece and just kind of finishing up the little bit. From here, we're going to take it to the track and do that one session. I only have time for one session today. It's about a week and a half before the race that I want to run. So I'm super excited. The car ran well on the dyno. Temps were fine. Everything is good. It sounds glorious. So a bit nervous. But yeah, we've also got a bit of work to do before the first race. So that'll be in the next episode of the things we have to do. And that's just for heat management and stuff like that. So yep, let's just get this car to the track. Need to show them my stamp. Seating position is a bit close still. So these tires haven't been on the track